Our next topic goes to Jim. Jim, it seems that some audits were done recently on Android apps for a number of interesting vulnerabilities. The one that made the biggest splash, it seems, is the presence of secret keys. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Actually, a paper that was presented at Sigmetrics by a number of researchers from Columbia. And the paper's actually pretty interesting. I was just reading through it. I had only read the blurbs in some of the other blog articles and so forth. There's actually some really good stuff in here on ways of comparing apps for similarity and that kind of stuff. The section that got everybody's attention, though, was section number 8 out of 9 in the paper, and that was that a lot of apps had various types of keys embedded in the apps themselves. So they have these keys in there, to increase interaction with social media of various types. But the developers aren't necessarily always using the keys properly or protecting them properly. And some of the keys in there provided a lot more access than what the developer realized. Fortunately, the researchers contacted some of the developers, and they've cleaned some of them up, but some of them, they had difficulty getting a hold of the developers. Using these keys could potentially allow the bad guys to create botnets consisting of not just necessarily the mobile devices themselves, but cloud resources that these keys allowed them to access. It's a pretty interesting paper, and I highly recommend that anybody who's interested in malware analysis or in analysis of mobile apps read the entire paper, not just the articles, because there's some other interesting stuff in there about the percentage of native code in various types of applications, and there's a lot of good stuff in there. But the key thing was these embedded use of secret keys or tokens. And while this particular study was done of the Android Google Play marketplace, my guess is that these same problems exist in other markets, because the issue isn't really with the underlying platform. It's with software development and the way they try to interact with social media. So my guess is, while this paper focused on Google Play, because that's what they were surveying, the problem most likely exists on other mobile platforms, on iOS, on Windows Mobile.
It sounds like there's possibly two ways to go here. That you would either make sure that the keys that you are, that you're forced to expose because someone is eventually going to analyze your code, to limit the access those keys have, but as well, is there a way that you can protect those keys better inside the code?
You probably can't protect them too much better inside the code, because the code needs to access them to actually make the connection to the other social media platform. But you do need to make sure that you're very careful about what access those keys actually have. The one Ars Technica article was talking about some of the Amazon AWS keys that they found in there that did more than what the developer, had more access than what the developer realized. So you need to be very careful that the key that you're embedding in the app so that it can talk back to your cloud application or to your social media platform only has the access that it needs.
All right, so developers, keep an eye out. Make sure not to give too much away, I suppose.